Hello Harambe Collective, my name is Stephanie Bell and I am so happy to be presenting to you a webinar titled You Are a Work of Art, Building Self-Confidence Through Self-Portrait Photography. By the end of this webinar, I hope you will have gained confidence, I hope you will have gained the basic skills and the basic knowledge needed to take your own self-portraits at home. So let's jump right into it. I'll start just by telling you guys a bit about myself and who I am. My name is Stephanie Bell. I'm a Los Angeles-based media producer and journalist specializing in photography and video production. My passion lies within fashion, culture, and beauty, and I love telling stories through digital mediums. Some of my professional work has been published in Harper's Bazaar Ukraine, Cosmobiz, Beauty Times, among other professional beauty outlets. I've shot for Los Angeles Fashion Week. I've created video content for Airbnb as well as for the BET Experience. I've been a photographer for about 4 years now, but I have been taking self-portraits since I was old enough to hold a disposable camera in my hands. I really wish I could find the photo that I have. It's a Polaroid, and clearly I was holding a camera in my own hands because the angle is like from here. So it's a picture of me as a baby, like looking into the camera. So I've been taking self-portraits forever, and I didn't realize how important and how impactful taking self-portraits would be in my life until recently. As a kid, I wanted to be a superstar. I wanted to be a pop sensation, a dancer, a model. Like, I wanted to be a star. And when I went to school, I was just kind of quiet. I wasn't really as flamboyant as I was at home. At home, I was every time I left school, I was going on tour. If you ask me, when I got home, it was like go time. It's time to hit the stage. The crowd is waiting. I don't want to let my fans down. Like, I was that diva, okay? But I wasn't like that out into the world. And it wasn't until I got older, really until I got into college, that I started taking self-portraits, and I became the diva. I became the star in front of the camera, and now I'm like this all the time. I am who I am and who I want to be. I'm living in my truth, and I definitely believe that taking self-portraits for all of these years have been a contributing factor to my increased confidence. As a photographer, I take pride in showing people how beautiful they really are through my lens, while also inspiring them to be the most fierce, carefree version of themselves during our photo sessions. Now I want to share my knowledge and my experience with you so that you can gain self-confidence and feel self-empowered by taking your own self-portraits at home. I strongly believe that beauty is found in everything and everyone. We're all beautiful. We're all uniquely made, and the human body is a form of art in itself, especially the female body. Through self-portraits, we get a chance to see ourselves in ways that we've never seen before. We can look at ourselves in the mirror and look at our reflection, but that's not how other people see us. So when we take pictures, we can actually see ourselves from a different perspective, as if we were looking at ourselves from the outside. So as we continue to view ourselves in these different unique ways and get comfortable with our skin as it is, then we continue to build self-confidence over time. The Harambe Collective theme for July is radical self-care. To me, radical self-care means doing whatever it takes to get our mental, our emotional health back together, to make sure that we are doing what needs to be done to take care of ourselves, to feel comfortable in our own skin, and to just love ourselves as much as we possibly can. So radical self-care can be just sitting at home all day, laying in the bed all day watching Netflix and eating chips in the bed, or it could be like putting together a mood board and taking self-portraits, which is what we're going to get ready to do today. Taking self-portraits is a form of radical self-care because it allows us to have private time with nobody else but us. It's just me and my camera when I'm taking self-portraits. So again, it gives us that personal time to really love on ourselves and admire ourselves. And the best part about it is that we don't have to worry about anyone else's opinion. I know some people don't like taking pictures because you don't want people to look at you, and that's okay. But the more we get comfortable with ourselves, the less we'll be concerned about what other people think when they look at us. For some people, getting dressed up and doing your hair and your makeup, maybe doing your nails, is a form of self-care. Other people, you may like to just be natural. Maybe for you, stripping off all the lashes and the makeup and the hair, that may be self-care to you. Whatever your form of self-care is, you can utilize that when it comes to taking self-portraits. So recently, I realized that I typically get dressed up and do my hair and makeup all the time for videos or for taking self-portraits. I realized I rarely take pictures just in my rawest form. So I did that. I was getting ready to wash my hair during wash day, my other self-care day. I was getting ready to wash my hair and I was like, you know what? Let me take some pictures of myself like this. Let me see what I really look like. And that was very, very, very empowering for me, because there are things that I dislike about myself, and I'm sure there's things that you dislike about yourself as well. So taking self-portraits is another way to highlight those things that you dislike and learn how to love them and learn how to look at them. Because once you're able to peel back the things that you dislike and view it for what it is, then you'll learn to love it. On the flip side, maybe you're someone who is always natural. Maybe you're someone who rarely ever has a weave, or rarely ever wears braids, or rarely ever puts on a bold lip color or wears a different hair color. Maybe your form of self-care, or how you will choose to take your self-portraits, will be to step outside of your norm, to step outside of your box. Maybe you want to become someone you're not. That's okay. Experiment with who you want to be, because once again, taking self-portraits is private time. You can strip naked if you want to and take pictures. A lot of people do that. Appreciate your full self. Some people would rather pile on pounds of makeup and put on the biggest wig and like the most extravagant clothes just to go into a fantasy world. That's okay. That is still radical self-care. So, how do you take self-portraits? Well, I'll tell you how I take self-portraits. First thing I do is I create a mood board. So typically, mood boards are a selection of photos that show the vibe or the theme that you like to achieve. Mood boards are great for planning your self-portrait shoot, or for anything. You can, if you're redecorating your house, you can create a mood board for that. You can use this for whatever you want, but I typically like to use these for planning photo shoots. I like to use Pinterest to search for photos of hair and makeup inspiration, a color scheme that I want to stick to, and even set design if I'm being very extravagant and like creating this whole fantasy world for my self-portrait shoot. Today I'm going to channel my inner goddess. So I created this mood board that has the images that I like to gain inspiration from and build off of. So this is another great thing to have so that you're not getting in front of the camera and you don't know what to do. So if you've never taken your own self-portraits before, or maybe you've never had a professional photo shoot done, it could be intimidating. It could be like, okay, well, I have my camera phone, I have my phone, I have it set up, I did my hair and makeup, now I'm just gonna sit here like I don't know what to do. You go to your mood board and you say, okay, well, I liked how this model was posing. I liked this color background that they had. So now you have things to work with during your shoot. So for my shoot, I'm being very extra. It doesn't have to be this detailed down to like the color scheme, down to the background that I want to have, the hair and the makeup. You can be spontaneous with that stuff if you want to. Your mood board doesn't have to be this detailed. Maybe you want to take simple portraits of a solid color background. So you might simply type in Pinterest, self-portraits, and the color red. So red self-portraits. You'll get some things that might inspire you and some things that might not. But you can pull whatever you want to keep and add it to your board to use for later. So I like to look at different poses, playful lighting setups, and stuff like that. When you find something you like, just save it to the board and keep looking for more inspiration. The great thing about Pinterest is that as you add things to your board, they start to curate or they understand what your mood is. So they start adding more recommendations for you to add to your board. So that makes it a little easier if you're in a creative rut, or if you don't really have a direction that you're trying to stick with. So let's talk about technology and things that you're going to need for taking your own self-portraits. You can totally turn your bedroom, your living room, your kitchen, your backyard, anywhere can become a photo studio. I'm gonna be taking my self-portraits right here. So the same space that I'm talking to you in is the same space that I'm gonna transform into a photo studio. The bare minimum of things you need is a camera and good lighting. Now this list may seem a little long. I'm just trying to show you all of your options, but really all you need is a camera and lights. That could be a window. I have 3 windows right here that at 6 o'clock, the light's gonna be great. So I can show you how to take photos just using natural light. I can show you how to take photos using a cell phone if that's all you have. You don't have to have a professional DSLR camera, you don't have to have professional lighting, but I'm also gonna show you how to do that as well. So starting with the camera, like I just said, you can use an iPhone, an Android phone, whatever type of camera phone you have, you can make it work. Because once again, this is not about having the best quality or having the most professional looking photo. This is about your time with yourself, admiring who you are, the skin you're in, and building self-confidence. So if you can see the picture that you're taking, that's all that matters. It doesn't have to be the most top HD quality. If you are looking for more professional work that you'd like to share or that you want to build a portfolio with, then you should invest in a more professional camera. So I have 2 cameras actually. One is a Canon T5i, which I'm gonna start shooting video with that in a minute. That camera is a great intro to professional cameras. But you can do your own research on different cameras that fit within your price range. I believe the T5i is about $500 maybe for the whole kit, just with the lens and everything. So that's fairly inexpensive, and you can also go even cheaper than that if you just want to shoot, like, if you're not really trying to go into photography, you can definitely find less expensive cameras that are better quality than phones. But at the same time, these iPhones, just get you an iPhone X whatever we're on now. The cameras on the iPhones are great, and even the Androids. So I just want to reiterate, you do not need to spend any money to take a self-portrait. Use what you have already. Now for lighting, you can use any big open window that you have. If the sun comes in, you can use it. Or you can go outside and sit in the sun. You know, that is your greatest light source, is the sun, and it's free. So you just have to find where you can get the best sunlight. That's free. So that is one option. You can also purchase, or you can use your house lamps. I have a lamp right here. You may need to put in a brighter light bulb, or if you have a smaller desk lamp that you can use to give you some direct light, that may be better as well. But get creative. Photography is all about creativity, and it doesn't have to be a specific way. So if you have a lamp that you can sit right here and it gives you a little bit of light on this side of your face, work with it. Work with what you have. You don't have to spend money for this. I just want you to know that you don't have to spend money for this. But if you do want to spend money, you can purchase a ring light, which is about $100. You've probably seen this on Instagram. A lot of makeup artists and influencers are using this circle light. I believe it's $100 on Amazon. I have one of those. It has really, really, really good light, and you only need that one. So that would be a great investment. Or you can also invest in other professional lighting. Next, you want to think about your background. So you can use a solid white background like I have, or whatever color wall you may have. That is the most basic background that you can get, and it's free. You already have it. Or you can use your kitchen or your living room. It doesn't have to be a solid flat background. It could be you standing in the middle of your hallway or in the middle of the kitchen where you can see the kitchen around you. You can be creative. So it's whatever you want to create. So use what you have. Again, I can't say that enough. Use what you have. If you do want to get a little bit more creative with items you have around the house, you can always pin up bed sheets to your wall, or if you have a colorful blanket or a blanket that has a really cool pattern that you want to use, you can always pin or tape that up to your wall. You can invest in some backdrop paper, which I believe can be from like $50 to $100 if you want to get like some professional paper, which is really just a big piece of construction paper. So you can also get construction paper or poster boards to use as your background as well, in any type of fabric, like I said before, bed sheets, or you can just buy some fabric from your Joann's or your fashion district that you have in your city. You also want to think about props. You don't have to have props. If you're just taking simple self-portraits of yourself, then you don't need anything but you. So this is pretty much all you need. If you are being a little bit more creative like I am today, then you are going to want to consider the things that you will need for your photo shoot. So because I'm doing a goddess theme, I am going to be creating a crown. So I created a headpiece out of a headband and some zip ties, and I spray painted it gold. So that's gonna be my headpiece. That's my prop that I'm using. So yeah, you just wanna consider different things you're gonna need and just be creative. Have fun with it. Again, this is your personal time to create what you wanna create. Create the world that you wanna live in. So do what you gotta do. And the last two things, again, most of this is all optional stuff, but you do want to think about investing in a tripod and a camera trigger if this is something you want to do on a more consistent basis, because this is going to make life so much easier for you. My camera now is set up on a tripod, so I don't have to worry about it falling. I don't have to worry about it shifting positions. It's always going to stay in this position. And I have a camera trigger that will start and stop video or take photos for me. So most cameras have a self timer. You can set it for 10 seconds and then you go and you pose, and then you have to run back and set the timer again, go, run, pose, and then it's just like a process. So if you're doing this often, that can get tiring, it can get annoying, it can discourage you from wanting to take photos. So this is about $10. I believe you can get one for your phone, and you can also get one for different cameras. And the tripods, they have tripods for cell phones, and they have tripods for cameras. You can get all of this stuff on Amazon. All right, so I think I've showed you guys all the things you need to know to get started with taking your self-portraits. So I'm just gonna set up and show you guys what the process looks like for me. So this is my setup. I have my big piece of fabric pinned to the wall. I have it pinned up, so super easy. If you don't want to nail into the wall, you can tape it up as well. That'll do the trick. And I also have my stool with my polyfill cloud that I created. And all I did was glue polyfill to a trash bag, and I just laid it over the stool to make it look like a cloud. So I don't know if it's gonna look like that or not, but I just tried it just to see what happens. Again, this is your personal time to be creative, admire yourself, admire your talent, admire your beauty. If it doesn't go out as planned, if your photos don't turn out the way you want them to, or if you have an idea that you just can't execute the way that you would like, don't stress. It's totally fine. Just take your pictures. You'll look back at them maybe a week later and be like, wow, it really wasn't that bad. So first I'm gonna show you guys how to take pictures using your iPhone. So if you don't have a camera, if you don't have a light, I'm gonna cut this light off. Then you can shoot with a window open. Like this window over here is open, and there's a couple other windows in front of me open. It looks really dark on camera, but I promise you it's not as dark. So with the iPhone, you guys can see that the background can be blown out like this. So all you have to do is tap the area that you want to darken, and then you can actually lock that focus in. So if you hold it down, it'll lock. So now the lighting, it won't change unless I touch that again. So to take your photos, and you can see the lighting isn't that bad with the windows open. So you don't need a light. That's the whole point of me showing you this, is you do not need a professional light. So what you're gonna do is turn your timer on for 10 seconds, and you take your photo and you come over here and you can do your pose or whatever. And it actually takes 10 photos. So if you move around during that moment of you taking photos, you'll have a few different options. So let's take a look at it. You can see that you can see everything around the background. So what we're gonna do later is we're gonna crop that out and crop the top out as well. But this is what the iPhone photo will look like under these lighting conditions. So I'm gonna turn this light back on. We're gonna do the same thing. Hold it down to lock the focus on that color in the background. Come back. And boom, that's it. So you can go back to your gallery and you can see, if you click select at the bottom, you can see the different photos that it took as a burst. So I actually like this one better. You can select this, and when you click done, you can choose to delete all the other ones, or you can keep all of them. I'm just gonna keep this one. So that is how you take photos using your iPhone. So you guys see now that you don't need any big equipment to take professional photos. With an iPhone, all you need is somewhere to sit the phone, and if you have a light, that's even better. Make sure you wipe off your iPhone camera, because I forgot to do that when I was showing you guys the demo, and you can see that the photo was a little bit grainy. When you wipe the camera off, you get a much clearer image, and also if you have more light, you get a much clearer image. So if you're concerned about your photos looking grainy, that can definitely be fixed, and you can still use an iPhone to take sharp, clear images. So now I'm going to show you guys how I set up and take photos using my camera. I'm going to go ahead and put my headpiece on now and kind of get into character, and I'll give you guys some tips for posing and just feeling confident and really feeling yourself while you're taking photos. I got my look together. I'm a goddess. Yes, that's me. I'm the goddess. I'm the queen. Yes, that's how you gotta hype yourself up. That's how you gotta get started, get pumped, get ready to just get into your zone. Typically, I play music, so you know you gotta play your favorite playlist, your favorite songs, so that you can really start feeling yourself and be able to hype yourself up and be your own confidence booster, okay? So, as you see, I've added some accessories to my goddess look. This is the crown that I made. And then I also have this white sheet of fabric that I'm going to throw across my body, because, oh, doesn't that just bring the look together? Yes, yes. So this is what I'm gonna do. This is how the creative process goes. You just really play with the look that you have, the idea that you have, and make it do what it do. Like I mentioned earlier, the trigger, great to have right now, so I don't have to keep getting up like you saw me do with the iPhone photos. And then I also have a Canon app on my phone, so this is showing me exactly what's on my camera screen. So posing tips. I learned, well, first thing you want to do is test. So we're just gonna take a photo, make sure all the lighting is okay, the background is okay, and yeah, just kind of make sure the look is coming together. When it comes to posing, I found that everyone has their angle. So photographer Sue Bryce, she has educational courses on her website, and I learned a lot about posing from watching her. So what she does is she has her model sit straight forward, and that's what you would do. You would just face the camera, and you're gonna adjust your face the angle that you have your head tilted until you find the angle that's like, wow, the mind-blowing angle. So you're just gonna start looking straight with your chin straight, take the photo. Then you can tilt your chin up, keep it straight, take the photo. Down, left and down actually. Then bring your chin back up to the center, but keep it turned to the left. And then tilt your chin up to the left, to the right, up and to the right. Keep your chin centered, turn to the right. Keep your chin down, turn to the right. So then what you do is you go through all of the photos that you took of yourself at those different angles, and you find which sides you like the best. So going through mine, these are the ones, and it's actually flipped on the camera. So my chin was actually turned to the right in this photo, even though it's facing the left on the camera. And I have the confidence to say when I turn my head to the right, my left side is my fiercest side, okay? That's that confidence from taking so many pictures of myself. I know exactly which side looks the best. So I will say that my left side looks pretty good to me at all angles. And my right side looks best when it's centered versus down or up. And I look best when I'm looking straight on with my chin up or centered. So yeah, that's the test. You just check yourself at all angles. See which one you like best. That's the thing. You have to like that angle, not what anybody else thinks. I may think my left side looks great. Somebody else might think my left side looks horrible. I like my left side, so that's the side that I'm opposed with. You have to determine which side you like, and if you have that confidence in your angle, have confidence in the angle that you choose, and people will love it as well. The confidence comes from you. If you're worried about what other people think about you, and you don't think highly of yourself, then you're always gonna have self-doubt. You're always gonna dislike something about yourself because you don't have that self-confidence. So you have to build it up within yourself first, and everyone else will follow along. So the last thing I want to do is show you guys quickly how I edit my photos. On my phone, I like to use the app Snapseed. On desktop, I typically edit in Lightroom. So usually I like to make sure my photos look good before editing so I don't have to do much. So for these photos, I'm really happy with how they turned out. So all I ended up doing was playing with the brightness and the contrast, and just sharpening it up a little bit and trying to fix any blemishes that I had on my face. And I also tried to fix some of the wrinkles in the backdrop. So yeah, I'm not really heavy on editing. It's really simple. Snapseed is a free app you can get on iPhone. I believe it's available for Android as well, but there are plenty of editing apps for you to use regardless of what phone you have, or even for desktop. Alright guys, that's the end of this webinar. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope it is beneficial to you. I hope this webinar helps you to feel empowered and inspired and confident enough to step in front of a camera and take your own self-portraits. If you guys do take any self-portraits, I love to see them. You can send them to me or tag me in them on Instagram. You can follow my personal account, which is where I post all of my self-portraits. That account is at @exostephbell. I'll definitely be posting more of the photos that I took from this session. And you can also follow my business account, which is by Stephanie Bell. That's BY Stephanie Bell. That's where I post more of my professional photography that I take of other people. So you guys can check out all of my work on Instagram and on my website, which is www.stephbproductions.com. And all of that will be somewhere on the screen for you to be able to read it. So I can't wait to connect with you guys. Please, please, please let me know if this webinar has been beneficial to you. Thank you again to the Harambe Collective, and I hope to see you guys again soon. Bye.